Hello, my name is Indy, and this is my video response to RPG A Day. This is my first RPG A Day that I'm participating in, and today's question is, what was your best game session since August 2015? So my best session since last year's RPG A Day would be a, a session in, let's see, it was um, late September of last year. I'm the GM in this system. I'm running a bi-weekly Rolemaster Unified, which is the current working name for the newest Rolemaster game from ICE, Iron Crown Enterprises, which is currently still in beta. And this is the first campaign that my wife is a player in. We've run I've run a short adventure for her before, but this was the first time that she was an actual regular PC. It's a relatively small group. It has 3 players. Started off with 4, but 1 left. She was playing an apprentice assassin, and she had received her final exam test, which was an actual assassination job. She was assigned the contract to kill a slave trader. Slave trading is illegal in the setting that they're in, but there was someone doing that under the table illegally. She gave some information to the rest of the party and said that it would pay and asked them along on the job, and they went out and they did it. Well, they went out to do it. They went into the compound and started scouting out the area. They started engaging in this plan. They had this plan where, okay, so this guy is going to pretend that this other character in the party, which was my wife's character, is an escaped slave, and bringing her back in, acting like he was one of the other guards that the other guards just simply didn't know. Of course, that wasn't expected to last long, but there were a few spells to help them out, to help them believe in the situation. And my wife's character, who was, as I said, an assassin in trading, had a poison that she had added to her dagger that she was hiding. And when they got close enough, they dropped the ruse and she attacked a man and one of the guards and got him good, and he failed his saving roll versus the poison, and he was going to die in just a few rounds, and he was losing breath and taking on penalties. But in that first round of initiative controlled combat, that guard stumbled over, rolled open-ended or explosive dice result in his attack, dealt a severe critical to my wife's first ever PC, and she died 2 rounds later of shock. It was declared in the critical result, which, if you have played Rolemaster, that's the way it works. You do not whittle down hit points most of the time. People die of bleeding wounds or straight out gutting, decapitation, open arteries. And this happened to my wife's first ever PC. I had killed my wife's PC. I was really struggling with accepting that, and she was actually the one who said, no, that's what rolled, and I'm taking it. And this ended up being a great opportunity. We miss the possible stories that character could have told, but she took another character, actually from the batch of freed slaves, because they were successful in freeing the slaves, those 2 remaining player characters. And she's had a lot of fun and a lot of meaning and success with that player character as well. And we even had another scene in later sessions that showed that the Assassin's Guild that she was in training with had not forgotten and had found out who her companions were, and had asked some questions about her and about the job and whether or not it was done. And what my wife said was the most striking point was after the fight was done that freed the slaves. I asked I asked the other two players what they wanted to do, in character. And they said, well, let's go track down the slaves that tried to run out and away. They were hobbled, so they couldn't go very far, very fast. Let's go track them down and free them, and then ask them to help us carry our friend away who had helped get them their freedom and to bury her properly out there. She said she had a hard time keeping a straight face in that situation. Not that she needed to. So that was. It doesn't really sound like a really great session, but it was definitely very interesting, definitely very memorable, and it had lasting effect on the campaign as a campaign in general, and also as my wife's first role-playing campaign. And this is my answer to what was the most interesting session in the last year.